Hello and welcome to G Fun Facts Online, the show that dives deep into the most fascinating trends shaping our world. Today, we're talking about a revolution. Not a quiet one, but a roaring, stadium-shaking, record-breaking revolution that's happening right now on the courts, fields, and pitches across the globe. We're talking about the unstoppable rise of women's professional sports. Forget everything you thought you knew. This isn't a niche interest anymore. It's a global economic powerhouse. In 2024, for the first time in history, global revenue for women's sports smashed the $1 billion mark. That's a 300% increase from just a few years ago. This isn't just about athletic achievement. It's a story of brilliant strategy, passionate fan bases, and a fundamental shift in how we see sports. So, how did we get here? And where is this rocket ship headed? Let's get into it. This incredible boom might feel like it came out of nowhere, but it's actually the finish line of a marathon that's been run for decades. For most of history, women were kept on the sidelines, with professional sports being a distant dream. A huge turning point, at least in the United States, was the passage of Title IX back in 1972. This landmark law banned sex-based discrimination in federally funded schools and education programs. Suddenly, a pipeline was created, allowing talented female athletes to develop at the collegiate level and dream of going pro. Early leagues like the Ladies Professional Golf Association, the LPGA, founded in 1950, and the Women's Tennis Association, the WTA, in 1973, were crucial pioneers. They gave individual athletes a platform. But team sports, that was a much tougher game. The WNBA, the Women's Basketball League, was founded in 1996, a staggering 51 years after its male counterpart, the NBA. And for soccer, early attempts like the Women's United Soccer Association in 2001 folded after just 3 seasons. It took until 2012 for the National Women's Soccer League, the NWSL, to finally create a stable professional home for the sport in the U.S. This was a long, hard-fought journey, built on perseverance against the odds. Now, let's fast forward to today, because the tide hasn't just turned, it's become a tidal wave. Women's sports are shattering records left and right. Take the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup, where nearly 2 million fans packed the stadiums. In North America, the WNBA, the NWSL, and the brand new Professional Women's Hockey League are seeing explosive growth. The 2024 WNBA season was its most watched in 24 years, with attendance nearly doubling from the previous year. The NWSL smashed the 2 million attendance mark for the first time. And the PWHL, in its very first season, sold out a game with over 19,000 fans, a new record for women's hockey. A massive catalyst for this has been the rise of transcendent superstars. You can't talk about this without mentioning the Caitlin Clark effect. The former Iowa phenom has brought a tidal wave of new fans to the WNBA. Her games consistently sell out, viewership is through the roof, and her team, the Indiana Fever, saw a 43% jump in sponsorship volume in just 1 year. But this isn't just an American story. In England, the FA Women's Super League is a global destination for top soccer talent. In India and Australia, professional women's cricket leagues are drawing massive crowds and lucrative deals. The 2020 Women's T20 Cricket World Cup final in Australia had over 86,000 people in the stands. This is a global phenomenon. So where is that $1 billion in revenue coming from? It's fueled by 3 main engines: commercial deals, broadcasting rights, and matchday income. And right now, the biggest driver is commercial revenue, things like sponsorships and merchandise. Sponsorship in women's sports is no longer an afterthought bundled with a men's deal. It's a strategic move. In fact, these deals are growing almost 50% faster than in men's leagues. Why? Because brands want to align with the values of empowerment and community that are so strong in women's sports. And it works. 86% of sponsors say their investment met or exceeded all expectations. For a groundbreaking example, look no further than Angel City FC in the NWSL. This club pioneered a revolutionary model where 10% of all sponsorship revenue goes directly back into the local community. A partnership with DoorDash, for instance, has resulted in over 1.5 million meals delivered to people in need. This isn't just charity. It's a core business strategy that has built an incredibly loyal and engaged fan base. Next up is media rights. The NWSL recently signed a landmark 4-year, $240 million deal with major networks, a massive leap from its old $1.5 million a year contract. The WNBA just secured a $2.2 billion agreement over 11 years. But here's the catch. Women's sports still only get about 15% of all sports media coverage. That's a huge disparity. But when the Women's March Madness final pulls in 18.7 million viewers, more than any basketball game, men's or women's, since 2019, it sends a clear message: invest in us, and the audience will come. Finally, there's matchday revenue. Fans are flocking to games. The WNBA had its highest attendance in 22 years in 2024. And don't forget merchandise. It's a $4 billion market, but there's huge untapped potential. For every 9 pieces of men's sports merchandise out there, there's only 1 for women's. A whopping 79% of fans say they'd buy more if it was available. The demand is there, waiting to be met. This boom isn't happening by accident. It's the result of smart, innovative strategies. Leagues are embracing digital-first marketing. The NWSL, for instance, more than doubled its social media following in a single year by creating authentic content for platforms like TikTok. The WNBA's app has seen a nearly 1,500% increase in downloads. They are meeting fans where they are, online. Leagues are also empowering their athletes. These women are more than just players. They are powerful brands and influential voices for social change. The WNBA and its players have been at the forefront of advocacy for racial justice and LGBTQ+ rights. This authenticity resonates deeply with a modern fan base that wants to connect with purpose-driven heroes. This growth is also fueling expansion. Both the WNBA and NWSL are adding new teams in new cities. But with growth comes the need for better infrastructure. Many teams still play in smaller venues. That's why the Kansas City Current building the first ever stadium specifically for a women's professional soccer team is such a massive, game-changing step. But despite all this incredible progress, the fight for equity is far from over. The gender pay gap is still a stark reality. The average WNBA salary is just a fraction of the average in the NBA. Victories like the U.S. women's national soccer team securing a landmark equal pay agreement are powerful, but they highlight how much ground there is left to cover. And that media visibility issue we talked about, it's a major hurdle. Only getting 15% of the coverage limits exposure and devalues the product. The solution is for media outlets to give women's sports the same commitment. The primetime slots, the pre-game shows, the in-depth analysis that men's sports have enjoyed for decades. So what does the future hold? It looks incredibly bright. The momentum we're seeing isn't a fad. It's the dawn of a new golden age. As viewership soars, so will the economic and cultural power of these leagues. And most importantly, every record-breaking game, every superstar athlete, every girl watching from home is inspiring a new generation. They are seeing what's possible. The game is changing, the rules are being rewritten, and women are leading the charge. The world is watching, and it's clear that women's professional sports are not just here to stay. They are here to conquer. And that's our deep dive into the incredible rise of women's sports. From a long, hard-fought history to a booming economic present and an even brighter future, it's one of the most exciting stories in the world today. Thanks for tuning in to GFun Facts Online. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you next time.